Greetings everyone, Brian with Wildman Design Co. I have a project video for you. So a little bit of a backstory on this. I shot this project back in June of 2022, thinking I was going to do some sort of weekly vlog, 2 videos a week on this project because I need to get my watch hours, I still do, need to get my watch hours up on this channel so that way I can monetize it again. It just didn't work out. I think I shot the whole project, but I just didn't get all the videos out on YouTube because things were taking too long. I needed to get this done, move on to the next projects for scheduling purposes. So here we are, January of 2023. Decided to compile all of the footage that I have together into one project video. So as you're watching this, it might sound a little weird because I shot it as if I was doing a daily vlog, but there's a lot of detail. I explain a lot of what I am doing in this video, so hopefully it's enjoyable to watch. For this video, I am making a queen bed out of alder. So what you've been seeing me do is break down my material, getting everything cut to rough lengths. That way I start up the glue up process. So sit back, relax, and enjoy. If you could just watch the video, even if it's just playing off in the background, because like I said, I need to get my watch hours up because I would like to focus on YouTube a little bit more here in 2023. So after cutting these posts for the bed on the table saw, there was with the tension in the wood, especially 8-quarter wood, there was a little bit of a bow and I think a couple, like 2 of the legs. So I had to run them through the joiner just to get that bow out, and then you see me here cutting them to final dimension on the table saw. So here we are the next day after milling up all of the alder, and I'm working on the layout for the bed. The posts are going to be 90 inches tall. They want the mattress at 36 inches up from the bottom. So that's that mark. And then the mattress is 13 inches deep. So that's where the mattress is going to sit. So right now I'm working on laying out where the rails are going to go. That's what that mark and that mark is off of this 5¼ inch rail. But I think proportion wise, that is too skinny. It's not big enough. It's going to look weird to have like a little skinny rail in such a tall bed. So what I think I need to do is go get some more alder and make that at least like 8 inches, which would be like something like that. Because I need to figure that out because these legs are going to be tapered at the bottom and tapered at the top. So I kind of got to see where that rail is going to go because it's going to be pretty much kind of square where the rail is, and then from the bottom of the rail to the bottom of the leg will be tapered, and then from the top of the rail to the top of the post will be tapered. So I think I need to get a little bit more material and add on to these because I think, like I said, too skinny. It just doesn't look right. All right, so I have more wood now, and I have glued the larger rail pieces together now. So these will be 8 inches now instead of 5¼ And now that I know that, I can work on finishing my layout because I'm gonna have to make a jig for the tapered portions. That jig will clamp this all down and I'll be able to run it through my table saw to cut those tapers. Got my jig made, so just using these toggle clamps here to clamp it in place. And then it's flush here where it's supposed to stop at this blue mark. And then it slowly tapers up with the overhang to here. So this part will ride against my fence, and then this will be the saw blade, and so it will cut that off. And then down here, I have a block down here with a notch in it to lock this end in place. So we'll see how this goes. So where we left off last, I was tapering these legs. I had made this jig. If you haven't seen that video, go back and watch it. It's part 1, so this is part 2. So we have 2 more sides to cut, and so I had to adjust the jig because we cut some material off, so I had to move these forward a little bit. Not much, but just a little bit. So I got 2 more sides to cut on each of these, and then we'll work on the bottom taper down here. So I'm gonna get back to work. Got the taper done here on the top portion of the bedpost. So now I need to adjust the jig, move the clamps and everything to do the small taper here at the bottom, which is from there down all the way to the foot. The small tapers are done, as you can see there. So it tapers, and then it's square kind of pretty much here where the rail's gonna go, and then it tapers to the post, to the top of the post. So I can put this away now, cut my rails to 8 inches, and start working on the joinery to attach the headboard and the footboard together. So yeah. So it's been a slow afternoon trying to figure this out. I made them a bed. This is the same client. I made them a bed sometime last year, and I had attached the footboard and the side rails together, so it was one big U. Like, you could not take it apart. I mean, you could if you broke it and everything, but so on this bed, they want to be able to take it apart. So I have to make the rails and the footboard and the headboard all detachable. So I'm working on figuring out that joinery. He doesn't want to use the traditional, I guess, hook style that you see on a typical bed. He doesn't think those last, which is fine. So I'm going to be using brackets and some bolts, but I'm trying to make it all hidden so you don't see it. So I'm figuring that out. So right now, just cut this a little bit of a a tenon in the footboard. And it's not going to be really structural, it's just more kind of a placeholder. So that way when I glue the footboard together, it has a spot to go in. So now I need to cut the mortise in here. I'm going to be using these heavy duty brackets, which will get recessed in here so that's all flush and looks clean and everything. So I need to lay out the mortises now and then get those cut out. So I left off yesterday doing these mortise and tenons, and so they all fit, like I said before. It's kind of just a placeholder of like, hey, the rails go in here, and it just helps line everything up later on when I start to glue things together. So now that leg, and that is the footboard. So those are pretty much done. I'm gonna set those aside and start working on the headboard. So I've spent way too much time on this headboard trying to figure out what I'm going to do, and I'm just going to go back to keeping it simple and kind of mimic the first bed that I did for this client, kind of do the same style of headboard for this one. So as we remember here, I got my 8-inch stretcher here. The top of the mattress is 36, so what I'm going to do is going to go 3 inches below that, and this will be the bottom portion of the headboard, and it will tie, there'll be a mortise into this post and this post, and that will kind of help keep it there. And then we're going to go 23 inches up to here, and then there'll be some sort of it's like a top cap here that'll be mortised into the post as well. So I'm going to start cutting all these pieces out and get it glued together, work on these mortises. Yeah. All right, here's the first mock-up. So I got my back rail clamped in there. And so this is the bottom part. Like I said, the top of the mattress will come to here. So this will be pretty much hidden just there to support the headboard. And then this is the top rail. So I got to cut this down still, but it's only 1 inch. I was just trying to get my mortises all laid out and everything. And then I think I'm gonna leave like a 3 or 4 inch gap here on the side, and then have the headboard go, and then same thing, a gap on that side. So almost kind of looks like it's floating, because like I said, you won't see this, and that's how the other bed was made as well. So that's the plan. I'm gonna get these all marked out and cut, and then I gotta cut and glue the headboards together. So I was cutting the mortise and tenons for the headboard, and I screwed up. I have no clue why I made this one so big. The piece is only this big, which sucks. So I'm gonna try to cut some pieces to put in there, glue them in there, sand them. Should be all right. Like I said, this is kind of below the mattress, so I don't think you'll ever see it. Maybe when you're making the bed, you might see a little bit of a line there, but I'll do my best repair job I can. All right, so in the last video, I made these mortises way too big. I don't know why I did it. I had a brain fart or something. So anyways, I glued some pieces in there. They're not sanded, but they're pretty, I mean, they're sanded almost flush. There's a little bit of a bump there, but I think they'll work out great. So now I'm gonna finish getting these mortise and tenons fit, get this mocked up, and then I gotta start cutting the headboard. Now I'm jumping back on the headboard. Got to get these ends cleaned up, so I'll trim those off. And then I want to glue the bottom 3-inch piece that has the tenons on it that go into the posts, and that top piece as well. Glue those on. Oh, do I want to sand this first? I'll decide on that, but that's the next step on the bed build. I decided to only glue the bottom section on with the tenons, because then that way I could sand all this nice and flat and then glue that top cap on, and that way I don't have anything. It's always hard to sand up against something, at least another piece of wood. So let this sit. All right, so here's what I have sanded so far. I got the 2 short rails, and then the headboard is underneath there, just sanding everything with 80 grit just to clean things up. Using my 6-inch Surf Prep electric array. Love this thing, it's a beast. It's nice with 6 inches. It makes short work of this stuff. So I'm just gonna continue sanding and probably pick you guys back up tomorrow. So here is the headboard rail. Right now I'm just rounding over all of the edges so they get a nice kind of round over profile. So I need to do the posts and the headboard and then the 2 long side rails as well. So I'll show you that process. So as you just saw, I glued this top portion on the headboard, and then I put the feet or the post on there just to make sure everything was still gonna fit. And it does, so I'm gonna let this sit for a little bit, and then I'll glue the legs and that bottom rail on. Sorry I haven't been videoing. I feel like I'm a little bit behind, so I'm just trying to catch up and get this thing moving along so that way I can start assembling it. As you see, and so on the past clip, headboard is together. It's always stressful gluing up something like this with 3 different spots. This board kept falling. Anyways, it's together, it's good. I'm not gonna move it, so I'm just gonna let it sit dry for a little bit. So the bed is, it's hard to get it all in one shot, is together. So I just use these heavy duty kind of angle brackets there. And screwed it in there, and that is plenty strong. I stood on it, jumped on it. I'm tempted to paint them black, 'cause it's not the prettiest thing. It's all gonna get covered up by the mattress anyways. You'll never see it, but I don't know, we'll see. Because the wood's gonna get a dark brown stain on it. So yeah, it's together, looks awesome. Super happy with it. So now I need to work on the canopy. So I'm calling it the canopy, but I don't know if that's the name of it. So there's gonna be pieces of wood up here top that connect all 4 corners together, and then probably 2 pieces in the middle, and they're gonna hang curtains down from that. So I need to start working on cutting that. It's hard to get everything in one shot, but that's what's next. I got all my pieces milled up for the canopy, and then I just got done doing a little test run on a half lap joint. So this is gonna go at the corners, and then there'll be a bolt that goes through this and then into the corner of the post. And then for the middle pieces, it'll just be a half lap with a screw to connect it all. So now I need to cut the half laps on the actual pieces. So I got the half laps cut on each of the ends. So now I just need to sand these and round these over to match the rest of the bed. All right, couldn't figure out how to get a camera up here to record this, but pretty much just drilled a hole and then screwed this in with the Allen wrench. It looks wet because I put a little bit of resin in here last night to help stabilize this, because I was afraid that this was just gonna split when I screwed that in, even if pre-drilling it. Once again, didn't do a good job recording. Sometimes I get carried away and forget that I need to record. But there is that bolt through these 2 pieces, and it's through that insert in the post. So we got all of the canopy done down there. It is looking good, so I still need to round over like these edges and that outside edge so that everything matches. Like this one, I need to round over that edge so that it kind of all matches and flows good. I ended up rounding over the top of the post. Here, let me get a better shot. So there's I rounded over the top of the post. I need to sand that a little bit more, but so everything will be rounded. I think it will all look good. So right now I am working on putting the mattress supports in. So these will get screwed to that, and then there'll be a sheet of 1/4 inch plywood, and these are for notches are for some cross members. All right, just got done putting in the mattress supports, so then I'll put there'll be 2 sheets of 1/4 inch plywood to go on top of that, It should be nice and strong. So here is the front of the headboard. This was the canopy pieces, and these are the rail pieces. So I think we're good to go. And so what I am going to do next is brush on a pre-stain conditioner. I found that works really well. It prevents the blotchiness that you would see if you just were able to stain the wood by itself. It gives it a nice even coat of brown. I've used it before, and like I said, I have good results for it. So I have to paint that on, let it dry, then sand it with 220, and then I can stain. So as we're wrapping up this video, if you've made it this far, I greatly appreciate it. If you could, maybe leave a comment, like, and subscribe, all of that fun stuff if you're new. But like I said, trying to get the watch hours up here on this channel, so I'm going to try to get going again, posting more videos. But again, thank you, I appreciate it, and here is the final product. They still need to add the curtains and everything, but this was after I installed it. Thanks for watching.